Hello everybody, back in Planet Zoo where we started off with this. Now I'll show you quickly how we built this. There's basically two of the glass panels. These are brilliant. These are quite new. I think they released in the update with the conservation pack. And then these lovely conservation wood pieces. Same again with these, just on the top of the bottom of the window. And then once I had that piece, I knew how I wanted every side panel to look. This like main structure here, what you can see me creating. I just added some of the again, some of the conservation pieces at the bottom. I believe this is the 3D printed concrete, the 3D printed plaster. Is that correct? I don't know. Honestly, I've just come back from holiday. Had a brilliant holiday, and yeah, this is the first thing I built when coming back. I wanted to create a habitat and an enclosure what really focused on it being eco-friendly as well as sustainable, and focused on the conservation pieces what was released in the conservation pack. And I think I managed to pull that off. A lot of the pieces what I do use are in the conservation pack, and it does somewhat look eco-friendly. We end up including loads of custom solar panels and stuff as well. You'll see as the video goes along anyway. And then once I had the main structure complete and I knew how I wanted it to actually look and it started coming together, I wanted to raise it off the ground a little bit, kind of like it was on like these bed of bricks. I don't know. I looked at some reference images of conservation buildings, and I found one, well, obviously one what looked like this, which was really interesting. And you see me just fiddling around with the path. I wanted a slope up. I wanted this building to be accessible to guests, and we do manage to do that, even though you as well as me are very aware of what the Planet Zoo path system's like. It can be a bit of pain in the ass, but it played ball this time, and we managed to get it working. I realised at this point though that it was actually too low down, and I do raise it up quite significantly actually. I think by 2 meters, if not 4 meters, we raise it up, and then we had to go in and edit it and change some things around and get it looking how we want it to look. Now, the key to building stuff in Planet Zoo, I always say this, is patience and perseverance and practice, the 3 Ps. And this one was really perseverance. Like the amount of things I deleted and redid and had a look and then came back to it. I don't even know how long this habitat took me to create, because I created it over about 2 days. Honestly, the footage you're seeing now is obviously very sped up. But yeah, over 2 days, I just kept coming back to it thinking, oh, that's a good idea. No, let's change this, let's change that. And sometimes that's the best thing to do in Planet Zoo. If you've got builder's block, I like to call it, if you've just sat there looking at the screen thinking, oh, how do I go about doing this? Just come away from it, have a little think, and then revisit it at a later date. So yeah, I added these blocks at the bottom like I was saying, and then some little bit of foliage, and that's when the foliage really started to come in for me, and ideas started sparking. Then I thought, right, I know all the time that foliage is king in Planet Zoo, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted a fountain, what was in the middle, which you will see me building very soon, and I wanted it to run through the middle of that building, kind of like separating the building and a little bridge over, and that's what that gap is for, in the middle of these 2 main structures. This is how it came out looking in the end. I did skip forward because you would have just got bored watching it. You can see the roof is on as well, so let's go in and finish the roof pieces, I think. Again, the same pieces from the conservation pack. This wood piece is so versatile and it looks so good, and if you zoom in you can actually see the grains of the wood, which I think is really good and a really nice detail what Planet Zoo developers have put in actually. Yeah, this is me just finishing off those pieces in the roof, kind of giving support beams, again trying to make it look a little bit more realistic and more doable. Again, it was in the reference images as well, so it made sense to do. Quite a lot of pieces in this build, I'm not going to lie, but you can download it as you can download it on the Steam Workshop. By the way, the links are in the description, and you can download it as a habitat. I'm just going to throw a null barrier around it, and then good luck finding how to put the paths in. You can follow the paths I've put in, the custom ones, but yeah, this is the fountain what it came out looking in the end. Let's add some plant pots and some foliage. I think it does look man-made, it doesn't look natural, but I kind of wanted that man-made look. And let's move on to the main body of water, and let's add a load of foliage and a load of rocks. Didn't want you to sit through me adding all this because it is quite a lot, but I have many foliage and rock work tutorials and stuff like that on the channel if you wish to, you know, learn about it basically. And then moving to the side here, I just added a simple little fence using the same pieces. And then it was time to go to work on the actual habitat barrier, the guest barrier, whatever you want to call it, the thing what separates the lovely animals from our guest. And I used this this habitat gate here. Now, I did fiddle around with the path here, as you can see, and I really struggled to how I want it to work. At first I went with this like raised platform here. I do end up changing, so stay tuned for that. I do change it quite a lot. Yeah, and this barrier, by the way, I created this barrier. I created a load of kind of like natural looking realistic barriers, again on my Steam Workshop page. And people seem to like it as well. It got a lot of positive feedback on Reddit and Facebook and stuff like that. And then let's get that out of the way, and here is what we created. Well, this is what Planet Zoo created. This is actually a Planet Zoo structure. We're going to redo that, but I'll come back to it in a minute. I wanted just to show you quickly how to create a custom floor. I always do this in my build. Get a normal floor piece or roof piece, whatever you want to call it, and then layer it with whatever you want it, and then you just select it all and it stays on the grid, and you can just duplicate it over and you've got a custom floor. Again, using the same pieces, you can see 2 different colours to give it a more, again, realistic look and be a bit more vibrant. And then moving back onto this, like I was talking, yeah, this actually came in the conservation packet. Is a blueprint, so if you want it, it's quite easy to get in your zoos. I just took it apart a little bit, added some benches, and thought it would make a great kind of like canopy area for our guests to sit down, maybe have a bite to eat, or just to have a brilliant view of whatever animal you decide to put in this habitat. Obviously, we added some benches and some bins, and we do end up adding, I'll show you now, some table decorations. And I did think, oh, how are we going to do this? First we added some lights at the top, as you can see me doing now. But yeah, we added some table decorations. I had like kind of like a custom plant pot, would you call it? Yeah, I suppose that would what you would call it. And a lamp. I wanted this habitat to look as good during the day as it would do at night. And it does look good in both. Well, I think it does. Let me know in the comment section below, do you like this habitat? Are you going to download it? What animals are you going to put in it? Like I said, I'm not going to put an animal in it this video. I want it to leave it kind of like free for you guys and girls to download and put whatever animal you want. If I was to put an animal in it, what animal would I put in here? Maybe a tortoise. I don't know why, I just feel like it'll suit. But yeah, here we go with the table decorations. As you can see, I'm just adding these lovely little lamps. Are they called lamps? Yeah, I think they're called lamps. And then the candle holders, would you call them? Lanterns, that's the one, lanterns. And then adding the actual candles inside, kind of giving it a bit of getting a cool vibe / romantic vibe look. I don't know, I just thought it looked good. And then moving on to this kind of like custom plant pot, what I was going on about, and I just used the rope and then fiddled around with different trees and different plants, and thought, well, that looks good and it looks quite natural. Yeah. And then moving on to this kind of like unique structure. Honestly, at my head, I don't know where I was going with this habitat at this point. I'm not going to lie to you, I just kind of like winged it. I mean, I think it looks good. I don't really know what I was doing. I wanted it to give it a more of an eco-friendly look, because that's the whole premise of the video and the premise of the actual enclosure itself. So I added a bunch of this new green stuff, kind of like a green roof, would you call it, out of the conservation pack. You hear me say conservation pack a lot because pretty much all the pieces, like I've said before, are out of the conservation pack, apart from like the foliage pieces and stuff and the metal roof. But yeah, and then added along these support beams to again make it look more realistic and give it a bit of a weird like hippie look, would you call it? I don't know where I'm going with this video, and I don't know where I'm going with this habitat, but I think it looks alright. And then some of the new foliage pieces from the conservation pack, and then this lovely grass, what I pretty much use for absolutely everything in game. And then you can see me just on the right here, just completing this area. I wanted to kind of like box it off and have this area complete, so I moved on to it. And I use, again, conservation pieces, you guessed it. These lovely like 3D printed concrete walls, I think they're called. And then just put them around, put these like little custom planters in, and then it was time to go to work on the actual this is like a raised platform, and it kind of like so the guests can look down onto the habitat and see like a overhead view of whatever animal you decide to put in here. Obviously we wanted some shading, and we want to continue the same look. That's why you can see me using the same pieces, just to give it that same look throughout, and you know, make everything look like it should be, nice and blended in, and everything matching and nice. Now, once you download this, let me know what animal you put in it. Honestly, either comment down below, or my Twitter or Instagram or anything like that you want to contact me on, are all down below in the description. You can do, let me know what you put in, and let me know your thoughts on this habitat as well. I'm really happy with it. See me just finishing off this area here now by putting this plaster walkway in. And here it is, it's finished. I'm happy with it, everything's in place and it is done. This is the kind of eco-friendly / conservation habitat is what I'm going to call it. It's probably going to be the title of this video, or at least the thumbnail anyway. But it is complete and I'm very happy with it. So I'll take you on a little tour, shall I? So obviously here we've got our main building, and this counts as like a bit of a viewing platform. Obviously the guests can go in. I have put paths underneath all this custom pathing as well, so the guests can access it. And if you do download this off the Steam Workshop, well, if you want it, first of all, the link is in the description down below. But if you do download it, then just put the paths in. It's quite simple. Just follow the custom paths what I've put in here. Coming here, there's a little bridge what goes over the little like man-made water fountain with some lovely plant pots. And yeah, this is just basically a viewing area. Look at that view. Whatever animal you put in this, your guests are going to have an amazing view. There's another view, and there's the view from the first area of the building. Coming to the front, we've got those lovely custom barriers here, these lovely custom fences. Remember, if you do want these, then the link is down in the description as well. So my Steam Workshop, these are on there. And then we've got this lovely body of water with a hell of a load of foliage. I always say it, foliage is king in Planet Zoo. And then we've got this unique little structure here. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't know where I was going with this, but I think it looks alright. Looks pretty decent, and I've actually put the habitat gate in here as well. You can build this area up with more of these wood pieces, and I kind of wanted to leave it blank. I just wanted to show you where you would put the habitat gate if you was to download this. And then the no barrier just goes all the way around, which includes all of this here, which is kind of like a little canopy area where our guests can go up and down and get a little bit of an inside view of the habitat there. Obviously you can put a barrier around here as well. Not gonna lie, I've actually forgot. I'd probably just copy these barriers here actually. Let's do it now. If I was to copy these barriers and then raise them up, and then we could just line them up then. Like so, and then just delete the pieces you want. There's like this is like a live in-house view of how I would go about building this actually. Delete these, don't need them. Duplicate this over, like so, like so. Duplicate this one over, boom, boom. Move this across so it's not actually poking out. And there we go, you can simply just put that around the edge, and boom, you've got a barrier around this raised platform here. This is the seating area, which I'm really happy with, and the lovely little design I've done here. Remember, this is actually a blueprint which I've kind of reconstructed, but this is a blueprint what is included in the conservation pack, which Planet Zoo have actually built. I just took a little bit of pieces out and put some benches and some custom pieces in, some lovely candles as well. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. These solar panels, by the way, I know I've mentioned it during the speed build segment, but this is very simple to make. It's just a normal piece, recolored blue, one of the shape pieces, and then this piece here is the blue sign bracket, and then for the thinner lines I've just turned that bracket on its side and implemented it and like ingrained it into the actual shape, and we've got some custom made solar panels. And that is everything. I'm going to leave it blank. I'm not going to put an animal in it because I'm going to leave it up to you, whatever animal you want to put in it. But my name's Adam. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit that like button. And if you're new around here, you might as well subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next Planet Zoo video.